And we are live on Instagram, and we are live on Facebook, and we are live on YouTube. And I'm with Marcel Cohen. Hello, Marcel, my friend. How are you? So good to
Extremely.
see you.
Same here. Very, very good. Very nice to see you again and everybody else online. Super happy. And all day today, I was so excited. It's about time. We can
Yes,
we
I love
cannot
you.
we cannot thank enough Mr. COVID for what it is doing.
Yes,
And
the best thing
we
that
are
happened to us.
we remember you saying that, and when you said it, when there was a mess out there, everything upside down, you were saying that, guys, this is the best thing that has ever happened to us. And sure enough, it did not really take too long. Within a few weeks, I will say that we got a hold of our bearings. And yes, it is the best thing. It is the opportunity to do for anybody and everybody whatever they dreamt of, even remotely. Now is the time. Now
Yeah.
everything is forgivable. Now everything is acceptable.
Mhm.
Okay,
So the
perfect.
best time to do is now, and I see that Carmela is here and Amit is here, and we have people on Instagram. So good to see you. We have blue background today, so it is kind of bluish. Everything is blue. So what are we going to talk about today, Marcel? Tell me what's we talking about?
Absolutely. So when COVID was upon us starting middle of March, we were thinking more in terms of what next? How are we going to manage this situation? All the while thinking that, well, it will end soon. But since then, in a short period of 2.5 months, a lot really has happened. We really learned a lot very, very fast. First, we learned
Yeah.
that COVID is not a pandemic, so forth and so on. And last time when you and I we met last Friday at 4 p.m. our usual time, we at that time we were a bit more conditioned with COVID, and the conversation was about more or less real estate, landlords, how do we manage that particular business. So we had a good conversation on that. But now it seems to me that, again, in a period of, in a very short time, we are learning very fast that what we can talk about is well above any specific business subject we can talk about, whether it is landlord or any other really matters. So, and sure enough, last time when we were talking, within a few minutes, like within the 10 minutes, we were talking about what is really the crux of the matter, no matter what the question is, no matter what really the problem is. And it all has to do with who we are, what we are, and fundamentally learn about ourselves. And as we like to say, find ourselves. And then from that moment on, as we understand what really that means, any question coming our way, any problem coming our way, we can resolve, not by focusing on the problem itself, which we did with COVID. It is by focusing really on solutions. So what I wanted to do, briefly describe about who we are, what is the meaning of you finding you, and then rest assured, the conversation is going to be more interesting as we progress. We're going to talk about the public platforms, the Google and YouTube, and their effect and influence on us. We are going to talk about it towards the end, about the riots, and that how blacks are not our enemies. On the contrary, we are all brothers and sisters. So we are going to make some correction in terms of what people think about all that. In spite of all the riots and damage that they are doing, that is not what it is. It is not really what we see. So please spare some time towards the end to talk really about that. So for now, we can start with, and there's another subject I'm going to jump onto after this particular one, talk about who are we? Give us the tools, the ways to acquire those tools, if it matters, even if it is like attending such interviews or seminars, webinars, whatever that means. How do we acquire the tools? Us becoming us finding us. From that moment on, it is much easier to talk about all the other issues in a more practical way. Make sense?
Okay, good. Yeah, makes total sense. Okay, so you are a nothingness that have an endless ability to bring about a somethingness. Now imagine, just imagine that one day you open your eyes and you find yourself in a place that you know everyone, and you know that you can bring something from nothing, and you know that you are super powerful, and you see that everyone around you are busy building walls around themselves, and those walls are built from shadows. Just imagine that. Just imagine that you came to a place and you are a kid, and you look and you see that everyone trying to build around themselves walls made out of shadows. And those walls looks really real to them, that they really think that they cannot walk through them, they cannot break them, and that they don't even know that they building their own walls. Now, when you tell them, look, these walls are just shadows, you can just walk through them, they look at you and say, no, you're just a kid, you just don't know. And you say, no, I'm not kidding, I'm telling you, there's no walls, there is no walls, there's shadows, you can just walk. And they say, no, you cannot walk. And you say to them, but just try to walk. They said, no, don't try, we've tried before, and you cannot walk through these walls. Look, they are very black and very real. And you think to yourself, well, what's going on? It doesn't make sense. I can see those walls. And they're telling you for years, from the age of 0 to the age of 6, 7, 8, that there are walls. And one day you make the mistake and you think, you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe there are walls. Let me try to put on my own walls. And at that moment, when you started to invalidate what you know, when you thought that someone else other than you can be the source of what you know, that's the moment that you started to die. The moment you started to die is the moment that you agree to build your own shadows, to act as the walls around you of your own prison cell. So what's the handling? What we do is basically explain to you what are shadows. Shadows are the result of light shining on something big. So you have your own light and you shine on you and you are big, and your own shadow is the thing that blocks you from you. So all you have to do, instead of finding what's wrong with you, turning the light on you and telling this is wrong with me and this is wrong with me and this is wrong with me and this is wrong with me, shine the light on someone else that will show this is right with him, this is right with him, this is right with him. And the moment that you shine the light on someone else, there is no shadows for you. And he himself, your light, cancel his own shadows. And what happened? You serve yourself by saving someone else. So what we do, we save ourselves by saving someone else. That's all that we do. We're using our light correctly, because for eons, we've been using our light incorrectly. We've been showing it on ourselves, telling this is wrong and this is wrong and this is wrong and this is wrong, and creating these big shadows around us. But the truth is, the moment that you stop putting the shadows on yourself, when you start shining the light, when you stop shining the light on yourself, but you shine the light on someone else, you make someone else important, not you. You accept someone else's viewpoint, not so much yours. You see how someone else is right, not how you are right. The moment that you do that, the magic happens. Your shadows goes away and their shadows goes away, and what you get is life.
Absolutely. What a beautiful summary.
Amazing. You discover something amazing. You discover that you are actually perfect, and anything that is not perfect is not you. And you discover that all people around you, white, black, yellow, even Jewish, are perfect. And if they're not perfect, they're not them. Everyone is perfect.
We become blind to different religions, to different colors, so forth and so on, which is when we see the riots, for example, people like us with the mindset that we have, let us say, we see things much differently. What in my life I found very peculiar is that people, we're talking about us being spiritual beings, obviously, cogniting on that. and we are having difficulty with that because we are not quite able to put our hands around what really that means. Yet, there are many religions, and yet there are many people that they go to church, to synagogue, and to mosque. They pray to their God. As soon as they leave the church, then they forget what brought them really there. So they're really living a fake life. They think they are spiritual. They think that they believe in God, but they are still not understanding it quite. So how can we make this transition from assist those people they know there is an Almighty out there, but going to church or synagogue to the mosque is not quite helping them to cognite on themselves being really spiritual beings, which is at the first place, all the religious leaders are telling you that, well, I created you in my image, so you are your own God, so forth and so on. Why people know that from academic perspective, but in practical terms, they are not able to practice it, and they are not acting as spiritual beings, they are acting as physical beings. So how can we assist those people that this is really how it is compared to what they thought it is?
Okay, so my viewpoint is that religion is the best thing that happened to men, and it's the worst thing that happened to men, and I'll explain why. It's the best thing because obviously religion brought us here, and we are here and we are successful and things are good. And it's the worst thing because when religion stopped being religion but being a method of controlling people, then it's really bad. Why? Because people know instinctively that there's something in religion, there's some wisdom, there's something in a religion that give you this direction, that give you a sense of group, a sense of rights and wrong, a sense of purpose. And any purpose is better than no purpose. And it's enough that you have a purpose, not what the purpose is, that you will be alive. And all of that is religion. And religion is really, really good. But when men turn religion into a tool to control people, it becomes really bad. And how do you know that religion went cuckoo? When the religion tell you that you are not the source of the knowledge, that someone other than you is responsible for your condition or is the source of what you know, and you're just a puppet that's being moved by someone or that needs to listen to someone and do what he says, or that there is some kind of a book that I will translate it to you and I will tell you what it means, and not you will tell to yourself what it means and then make it your own. So any religion that tells you that the knowledge is not yours, that you cannot make the knowledge your own, that you cannot know, actually try to lying to you, because the definition of the word you, the definition of the word spirit is this thing that knows. And how you want to recognize your enemies? All your enemies try to reduce your knowledge in various ways. A physical enemy, like your opponent in a war, will try to cheat you by telling you, I'm going to attack from here, but actually they attack from here. They try to make you don't know. If your husband cheat on you, he's trying to tell you I'm here, but he's actually there. He's cheating on you. He's trying to make you not know. If your religion want to cheat you, they tell you, I know better than you. The only one that knows is you. And since you've been made in the image of God, you are all knowing. You are all knowing, and to say that you are anything less than that is actually a blasphemy, because it means that you are not as responsible and someone other than you is responsible. Because when you know, you are responsible. And if you don't know, if it's written in a book and the book know and you just didn't learn it yet, then you're not responsible. So until you didn't learn that specific line or that specific verse or that specific something, you don't know yet, and so you obviously not responsible, so you're nothing. Bullshit in the power of 10. It's nonsense. You know, and you don't need to learn to know. What you need is unlearn all those things that people told you that you don't know. You need to know that you know. The only thing you need to know in this life, the only thing that will make you certain, the only thing that will make you successful is you need to know that you know. Once you're certain, nothing will stop you, even not you. Once you're certain, nothing can stop you. So all your enemies are fighting one thing, your certainty. Because when you're certain, nothing can stop you. No bullet, no missile, no army can stop the certainty. That's why the black in South Africa got freed. That's why the Jews got away somehow from the claws of the Nazis. That's why any slave society eventually break the chain, because they know they're destined to know, to be free. What does it mean to be free? To be certain and to do the right thing because you know. And people start to do the wrong thing once you tell them that they don't know, because when they don't know, they don't know what is right and what is wrong. You want an ethical society, you want people that know right from wrong, empower them. Don't suppress them. Any person, any group that tell you that you don't know, anyone that tell you that someone else is the source of the knowledge other than you, is actually not your teacher, is your executioner.
It seems religion had a purpose way back, and had they implemented what their purpose is, then we will not have been where we are today. It seems then that the church, so the religions, various religions, they themselves, they became the victim of, let us say for now, of something.
Yep.
And in the same fashion that the slaves...
They have a virus.
Come again? Yes, something like that.
They have a virus, and the virus is, I know better than you. The only real virus in man's history is I know better than you.
The slaves...
Instead of you know, I know, but you know. And I'm totally happy that you know, because if you know and I know, imagine how big things will happen. But if I know better than you, then you are a drag for me. I always need to handle you.
It seems like slaves, sooner or later, they find the way out, because they know intuitively, they realize that there is more to their current environment, and they do eventually find the way out. Why do we get so shackled with the religious system, and we are not able to unshackle ourselves with the influence of religion management, not necessarily religion or spirituality, but the religion management or bureaucracy itself? Why is that so tight? And it's almost form of slavery, and that we are controlled, and we are not able to have ourselves uncontrolled from the clouds of of various religions.
Because what God said is really, really, really helpful for men. It's really good for men to know. It's the most important thing. I don't care which religion. It can be Muhammad, it can be Moses, it can be Jesus, it can be whoever. I don't care. The purpose there was so strong, and the truth was so strong, that it put together such big groups, because people recognize truth. People recognize truth. Yes, they know. So when they see truth, they're attracted to it. So religion is really, really good. Religion is really good, and it's really not important which religion. In my opinion, any religion is better than no religion. Yes, because religion gives you kind of a direction. Okay, but you, within the religion, you have the responsibility of making it your own. You are not, anyone that says it's all in the hands of God actually says, look, I do not know nothing. It's all in the hands of God. And look, if it's good, it's me, of course. But if it's bad, it's him. So they're blaming God. They're blaming God. It's bad. It's bad. Imagine that you are. Let's make it a smaller thing. Let's say you are in a company and you are the manager, and let's compare the management to God. It's not even the right comparison,
Yes.
but yeah, let's compare a manager to God. And imagine imagine people that the manager really loves them and give them all the power and installing them all the power and give them genius beyond genius. That's God. He gives you genius beyond genius. It gives you the ability to create anything. And then when you don't use it because you're not doing something right, you're blaming the manager. And when you do use it, you tell the manager, "Hey, thank you, but you know it's me. You should give me a bonus. God, look how good I am. You should give me a bonus." Yes. So this is crazy. How it should be, it's the manager empower you. You go, and your payment for the manager is that you create such an amazing life around you. You create such an expansion, which means you create with you a bigger group underneath you that is even bigger, even better, even wow, that is in line with what the manager wants. And then what you have, you don't need to tell the manager thank you, because thank you is really useless. Result is better than 5,000 thank yous. If I come to you and you help me and I said thank you, or you helped me and you wanted me to, I'm your son and I wanted to be successful. Yeah, you wanted me to be successful. I can be not really successful, but I tell you a lot of thank yous, or I can be extremely successful and don't tell you any thank you, but I tell you, Daddy, it's you because you helped me. Thank you. At that moment, this small thank you is better. The result is better than 5,000 thank yous. I can say that thank yous are almost a substitute for result. When you have result, you don't need to thank the person that helped you, because that person, if he really wanted to help you, he wanted to see the result. I don't need a thank you from my son. I need to see that my son is successful. When I see that he's successful, my heart become bigger. I'm feeling like, whoa, and there couldn't be a bigger thank you than my son is successful. So you're the son of God. Go and be successful. Don't blame God for things that did not work well, and don't thank God for things that go well. Just know that he gave you all of this knowledge and all of these abilities, and your thank you is your result. Your thank you for God is your result. And I don't care who is your God. The God can be even your wife, you know.
Very often it is it not?
Yeah.
It is a very, very well said, which entirely applies, as a sidebar comment, entirely applies.
Hold on. Okay, we're back. We had the problem with the internet. Go ahead again.
No fun. So very well said what you said with regards to our relation with God, and with regards to your relation with your son, and then the example that you gave in the business environment. It's exactly like that. Managers are not gods, but there are similarities in the duties where they create the environment for people to flourish, and then those people, they produce results, which is the thank you itself. That's great. So what I want to move into, for you to give us some explanation in terms of the world pyramid, the world citizen being at the bottom, and various social platforms such as Google, YouTube, Facebook, you name it, where we are today, next towards the pyramid. And then above that, so-called groups, there's one famous group called Bilderberg Group, people like Elon Musk or Bill Gates, you name it, fine, no problem. And then it seems like above that, there are further elite groups that we have never seen them, but we know that there is something pulling the strings. And furthermore, at the top, who knows what else there is. So this looks to me like from bottom to top, everybody's strings are being pulled from the next level up, really above us. Can you shed a bit light in terms of we as the citizens of the world, where do we fit in this pyramid? And then when we look up there, who is really sitting there? Now, why am I saying all this? Because for hundreds of years or for thousands of years, the world citizens, we were plagued with disasters. Most recently, the riots, before that COVID, the economic collapse. This has been going on for thousands of years. So it seems to me like they are all unnatural, and that it is almost like it is man-made. So where is this man sitting in this pyramid and then orchestrating this disastrous outcome to the world citizens?
Okay, so I can explain where it's all come from, and probably it will be very, very unreal to most people that are hearing us. So instead of explaining where it is all come from, let me explain what you can do. Okay, and why we are in a situation where a small group can control the majority. Why is it? Why a small group can control the majority? A small group can control the majority because the individuals in the majority have been convinced that the one person can do nothing about it. So you think, well, if I'm a little bit out ethics, so what? My effect is so small. And you think if I'm doing a little bit something, I'm not using my full potential, so what? I'm just one person. And this contagious of insanity of you are not powerful is what those elite groups trying to tell you. They try to tell you you are nothing and we are something, and we are knucklehead, we are useless people that actually buying that. Now, how do you know that you are powerful? How do you know that you are powerful? You know that you are powerful by the amount of effort that is being used to push you down.
Yes.
So let's have a look. You've got something like COVID, and you have something that you get 1 billion times per month. Messages, just not online. This is just TV, just TV and news. 1 billion times mention on how bad COVID is. This is a lot of effort to put you in place. If someone tried to put you in place for so much, with so much effort, with not one good word, it means that they tried to hide something. Because when someone have no hand, you don't go all day and say, hey, he has no hand, he has no hand, he has no hand. It's evident. You don't need PR, you don't need marketing, you don't need to say 2 billion times. But if someone have a hand and you want everyone to think that he doesn't have a hand, you need to really convince everyone. How? By telling him, no, he doesn't have hands. No, what you see is not that. It's an illusion what you see. He doesn't have hand. And eventually you'll start to think, well, maybe he doesn't have a hand and maybe I'm stupid. So you'll start to say, yeah, he does not have a hand. So you want to know that someone cheat you? See how hard he tried to convince you. Because with the truth, you don't need to convince. The truth, you just say, look, this is the truth, and people automatically recognize it. But when you have a system, when you have a situation where someone needs to push strong, you've got a company, or you've got a country, let's say Germany, that you need Hitler to go again and again and say how bad are the Jews and how bad this, and really sell that idea again and again and again, and write books about it and this and that, and put this big event to convince you how the German are the Aries, are they really good, and all the other people are useless. It's a lie. And how do you know that it's a lie? By this, how much they're pushing. So when you see a group that really push internal PR a lot, they really, really push. 1 second, we've got this. They really push the internal PR a lot. You know that this group is lying. Because when the PR is good, you put the PR external, not internal. When most of the PR is internal, you know the group is lying. That's your first indication that there's something really bad going on. When Germany had to convince German that they are such an amazing, Something is going on. Something is wrong. When Jewish people have to come continuously, imagine if in Israel all the time you'll hear, well, we are the Jewish, we're the superior nation because God gave us the book, and it will be all day long on TV, all day long on radio, all day long. You will know that it's a lie because someone trying to brainwash you. If someone really pushing it all day long, you have to say Heil Hitler, Heil Hitler, Heil Hitler all day long. There's a lie, because otherwise you don't need to say Heil Hitler. You just know that God is good and end of story. Yes? Absolutely. You don't need to sell it. So when someone tries to sell you something very strongly, you need to know that you lost your ability to set up good example. You lost the ability to know, and what you need to do is to start from your own, just you. Decide, I am not going to be afraid. I'm going to bring results in my area, and never underestimate the effect that you're doing. Because people look at you and you set up a good example or bad example, and people change just by looking at you. And it's not important who you are. If you just set up a good example, you will raise and raise and raise, and your group will raise with you. And you will see that your enemies try to convince you to do bad things. How? By putting laws, by making you, by convincing you that you don't know, by telling you that the environment is dangerous, by telling you that you don't know. I tell you, you come to learn with me, and my first thing that I'm telling you, learning is a process not of adding data, but deleting data, because you know. Every one of my seminars start with everything I tell you is not true. If you've been on my seminar, regardless of what's the seminar, always the first sentence that I say, everything I tell you is not true unless if it is true for you. Why? Because I don't want to be the source of your data. You need to look and decide what is true for you. You need to look and decide that you know. And anyone that doing anything different than that, anyone that try to make himself important and you less, or just himself important, he automatically make you less. And he is not your friend.
You know, if there are, let us say, theoretically or practically 7,000 people watching this kind of programs, if only one of them say, you know what, I'm buying it, I like what I hear, 7 billion people, boom, you have 1 billion people, which is more than enough to turn this world around many times over, and the moon and the Jupiter together. So yeah. we are not looking to convert anybody. Just we are looking for people who are listening to this, and that they are just for themselves. They are just aware enough. They are awake enough when they hear something. You know what? There is something here. I want to check it out. This is really what we are looking for. Therefore, we don't sell anything. We don't market anything. We are just talking freely. And then we are looking for people for this kind of conversation to resonate with them. So anybody who wants to comment.
We are unconverting. We basically say, whatever group you are, stay in that group. It's totally fine. But I'm unconverting you from being a slave to your group to becoming a God for your life, becoming you. Basically, what I'm trying to do is people say, well, you know, I'm really worried about learning something new, and I believe in that. And I say, for as long as you believe in something, you are useless. For as long as you believe in something, you are useless. Why? Believe is a temporary thing. Because if you believe before that, you didn't believe. I don't believe in God. Sorry, I don't believe in God. I know there is God. It's like I don't believe my name is Meir. I know my name is Meir. I have no uncertainty about it. And how can I know that my name is Meir? Not because someone told me, because I made it mine. Someone gave me the name, but I made it mine. It's my name. I made it mine. And that's what you need to do about the Bible. And that's what you need to do about the Quran. And that's what you need to do about the New Testament. That's what you need to do about you. You need to make it yours. It was given to you. What does it mean God gave you that? He gave you that, which means it's yours. It's not his anymore. It's not his. He gave it to you. When I give you something, it's not, if I give you, I said, I give you a present. I cannot come back after a week and say, give it back to me, because it's yours now. I gave you ownership. If I give you something, it's mean it's yours. And the only bad thing that you can do is if I give you something and you don't actually take it, it's actually an insult. Yes, it's like, what? I gave you something so valuable and you don't give it to me and you don't take it. That's what you do when you wait for God to tell you what it is, or when you actually start to admire God or admire whoever gave it to you. I don't know, Muhammad or Jesus or anyone. If you admire the person that gave it to you or the God that gave it to you, at that moment, you actually went against him, because he gave it to you not in order to give kisses. He gave it to you because he wanted to help you.
Yes.
And he wanted you to have it. He didn't give it to you with an alter motive of, I give it to you and you won't pay me back. Yes? There was no alter motive there. He gave it to you plainly, and he expected you to make it yours. So he didn't expect you. He gave it to you and then you say, Heil Hitler, or thank you, God, or anything like that. It's the same way. You don't do that. He gave it to you. Thank you very much. End of story.
The world has pressed the reset button with COVID, and without an exception, the entire world is going to start from scratch, from zero. You really need tools of this nature. How do we go about restarting it? Because there is no physical universe or even an employer who is going to tell you, who's going to hire you and tell you really what to do. We really have to be more independent to the full extent. Great.
Yeah.
I want go ahead.
What we're going to do to actually help people learn this thing, there's two sides. Number one, you first of all need to handle your income. If you want to be spiritual, you need to handle your physical means. You cannot be spiritual if your body is in pain. If someone's shooting you, while someone shoots you, you are not spiritual at that moment. You don't go out and do meditation while someone shoots at you. If you are hungry, if your family don't have money, if you have the sheriff after you because you didn't pay something, you are not spiritual. It's nonsense. Okay. So the first thing you need to do is to fix your income. You need to fix your physical universe things. Okay. And in parallel, but this is first, that's come forth. The spirituality is more important. But what comes first is what closer to now. What closer to now, you deteriorated from spirituality to the physical universe. So first we handle the physical universe that affects you, and then we become spiritual. So somehow you need to learn how to fix the physical universe, and then how to become really you. And then the physical universe is not important. And how we do that? We do that in two things. Number one, the physical universe, I'm doing a webinar, a totally free webinar. It's today. It's in about 45 minutes.
Yes.
I just decided to open it. It's a paid webinar that I have a group of advanced students that are doing this webinar. And that lesson 21, it's a weekly webinar of 3-4 hours for 50 weeks, for a year, for a whole year. And we learn how to create money, how to print money. Not fake money, real money. We create how to print money, and you can join that thing by going to, I will put the link right after this webinar on my Facebook wall, and you can go to my Facebook and just click on the link and register, and I will send you an invitation. And then if you're watching me on Instagram, you can send me a private message, and my Instagram name is Meir Ezra Official, and I will send you a link. Okay, so this is the physical thing. This is a one time that I'm opening one of these 50 webinars. I'm just restarting it for the group that already on lesson 21. We're starting from the beginning while we're continuing with lesson 22, because this material is so powerful. So the more time you go over it, the more certainty you get, the more you understand it. So I'm inviting a lot of people because I understand that people really, really need it. So I'm opening this, and that webinar alone will already change your life and will give you a much better understanding of what you need to do. And second, the handling of the spiritual universe. How do we handle you spiritually? I have a series of webinars that called The Path to You. And if you are on Facebook, you can see the link below. It's www.meirezra.com/yoga. If you are on YouTube, you will see there as well. And if you are on Instagram, just go to my bio, click on the link, and you can register. It's on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. South Africa time, 10 p.m. Europe time. And you can join. It's free, but it's not easy. This is something like you will learn the concept that will move furnitures in your head and will change your viewpoint. So this is how you learn about those things. Okay. Yeah, and there's a lot to learn. It's not something that you've been deteriorating for many years, and if I can get you to remove those deterioration within 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, and get you to see major result, measurable result in the bank, not just feeling good. Feeling good, I can send you to get massage, you will feel good. I'm talking about really tangible result, money, cash in the bank. You do what I'm telling you, even if you do that stupidly, you will get money in the bank. And what I tell you to do is what you know. And it's basically, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you, please start to trust yourself. I just show you that you are so powerful. And the reason that you are not using your power because you've been convinced falsely that you are not powerful, that you don't know. But inside of you, you know that your potential is much higher than a result. You know that. You just somehow know that.
Absolutely.
And I will help you to discover this potential. Not to discover you. You is you. There's nothing to discover. To discover your potential. To figure out why you are not willing to demonstrate your abilities. Because it's only a willingness. Why are you not willing to demonstrate your abilities? You know the ability is there. You know the potential is there. Why? That's the question. Once you will discover that, and you will discover it, just join the webinar. You will see that the result that you bring will be so unbelievable that it is just almost like a miracle.
You know, all these years that we have been working together, and we have been working together for a long time with a large group of colleagues, I cannot recall a person coming and then not getting sold to the overall idea, wow, I'm in the right place. Every single person feels at home. And obviously, during the seminars, the webinars, certainly with you, with all the other colleagues, like, it is no more, no less than we are living at a different universe. And every morning we are getting out of our homes and stepping down to the physical universe. Yeah. I can guarantee it, as far as I'm concerned, personally speaking. And as we are doing this interview, I'm praying to the Almighty, please, one person, I don't care, 2 person, just attend the webinar, attend the seminar. Well, we are not doing too many seminars right now because of COVID, but then you will be sold and you'll be super happy that you have really done so. That is really great. I see that the time is moving. It is really up to you. Do we still have time, or you feel like we are okay so far?
Yeah, I think we're in a good point, and we're going to start the next webinar shortly. So I want to thank everyone that been here. Shaked and John, and I'm not reading all the names, and Raymond, and in Instagram, it's hard for me to say who is who because the name on Instagram is more codes than real names. So thank you for joining. Thank you for being part of this amazing interview. Thank you, Marcel. Please share. I will post the link for the seminar. It's called, by the way, the Wealth Formula. So I will post the Wealth Formula link on Facebook within the next 5 minutes. You can join, and you will see. It will be epic for you. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for Amit. Thank you for Swapna, Shamaya behind the scene, and Gali, the most amazing son in the universe. So thank you very much, Marcel. Thank you. I love you, and I'll see you shortly.
Love you too. Thank you. See you very soon. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
ביי. ביי,
צ'או,
אחי.
צ'או. ביי,
צ'או.
אחי שלום. תודה רבה
ביי.
להתראות.